Hello there, this is the old Onioncreature back with another video largely focused on Nintendo products. Today I will be discussing Shovel Knight Specter of Torment, which is a game available now on the Nintendo Switch. It launched on March 3rd. It was a launch title, and I purchased it via Shovel Knight Treasure Trove, which is the collection of all of the Shovel Knight games. There's the original Shovel Knight, now retitled Shovel of Hope, and Plague of Shadows, the second campaign story mode type thing, and then of course there is Specter of Torment, which is the most recent, and then the upcoming DLC, which is King Knight's story mode and Battle Arena 4-player mode, will be also available via Shovel Knight Treasure Trove. So that's pretty great. And of course, if you've already bought Shovel Knight on a platform previous, you will also be receiving all this DLC free of charge. So that's neat. But on the Nintendo Switch is where it launched first, which is cool because I think it's cool that Yacht Club Games is still showing loyalty to Nintendo. I think it's pretty clear that they're Nintendo fans and that they value their games. They like having their games on Nintendo systems, so I think it's pretty cool that they chose to have sort of an exclusive thing with Nintendo. I think that's neat, especially since to give the Switch more launch games. It's pretty great of them. And yeah, now I'm gonna discuss the game now that I've gotten all the background details carried out. So, I think this game overall is pretty fantastic. Visually, it's phenomenal. Same as Shovel Knight, it has the pseudo 8-bit style and music. So it's very very heavily stylized to feel like a Nintendo Entertainment System game, which is pretty awesome. And so that obviously carries over from Shovel Knight, and it's just as strong here. Everything, so visually and the sound, the music is phenomenal. As usual, the Shovel Knight games have really great soundtracks, as it tends to be. So the Shovel and Specter of Torment is no exception, so that's another great plus. And what's great about Shovel Knight Specter of Torment is that there are actually a lot of new music tracks, since every main stage of the story has been remixed, both in terms of the music and the level design, far more than Plague of Shadows did. There's visually, like, the style of the stages is quite different. For example, I believe, it's hard to think of an example. Okay, so Specter Knight stage, this is a minor spoiler if that kind of bothers you, but is more heavily populated. They're sort of houses and stuff, and it's just stuff like that. It's like minor things, like the Mole Knight stage is still being evacuated or whatever the term is. They're digging, trying to get down to the depths and the riches and whatnot. So and so the music's all been remixed, and there are a whole lot of new stage elements in all the different stages. It's pretty great. So aside from that, not only are the new stages different, but Specter Knight himself plays extremely different from both of the pre-existing characters. So how he works is he jumps doesn't jump quite nearly as high as Shovel Knight, but he can wall jump, but he can run up walls and jump up walls. And he has a sort of attack where you can fly up diagonally if there's an enemy or a sort of a lantern or a designated object that you're supposed to hit. and you can sort of attack fly through the air diagonally, and that's pretty awesome. And so that's just the basics. It's a lot more simple than Plague Knight. I'd say, yeah. So that's essentially how the game, how Specter Knight controls. And then there are the curios, which you can obtain, which like sort of give you new abilities, very similar to the relics that Shovel Knight could use and Plague Knight's whatever his equivalent was. So you know you can like you know just different abilities like that can sort of help you out, like heal you or allow you to go higher in the air. So just stuff like that. And so yeah, the gameplay is really fantastic. It's just right in line with all of the previous Shovel Knight games, just as fun, I'd say. Really well designed. Yeah, everything feels just right in terms of the levels. They're good lengths. Checkpoints are put out, placed well. Like pretty much in every way that this game could be good, it is. So that's pretty fantastic. They were able to achieve that yet again. Just it shows how committed they are to the quality of their product at Yacht Club. So yeah, I really have nothing but praise for Specter of Torment, Shovel Knight Specter of Torment. I would highly recommend it. I'd recommend buying it as part of the Shovel Knight Treasure Trove package, as that gives you a lot more value for what you're buying. Of course, you could buy it separately for $10, but personally, I'd recommend buying all the games because I'd say they're all about equally as good. And I'd briefly like to touch on the story just a little bit. I won't get in depth with it, but it really is another great story. Fits very well within the game, and I really enjoyed it. And it's very unique for a Shovel Knight story, and I think if you play it, you'll see why. There are a lot of cool things they do with it, a lot of good callbacks to the previous entries in the game or whatever, the series. But yeah, I mean, I really have nothing better to say, or nothing else to say about it. I'd say it's good. So a lot of people with the Joy-Cons, since it doesn't have a traditional D-pad, are somewhat concerned. I'd say that in handheld mode, when playing like with the Joy-Cons attached, it really does feel quite good. Even using the separated D-pad, it still works very well, and I didn't really have any problems with that, even though obviously it'll take a bit of time to get used to. It's not the best way to do it. If you have a Pro Controller, obviously you can use that since that has a traditional D-pad, but you know, since that's not an option for everybody, I can't really get one because they're just out of stock. Either way, even Sideways, I played Sideways just to test it out, even though there's no real reason that you'd want to do that. You'd have to do that because there's no multiplayer Specter of Torment. But you know, it works. It was totally fine. I was like, okay, yeah, I can play this game. Just I can do it. It's totally possible. So yeah, any configuration you can think of with the grip. Joy-Con grip is probably the best way. With the TV screen, handheld mode is probably equally as good. But yeah, it's really fantastic. I mean, yeah, it's really great, and I highly recommend it. So that's what I have to say about that game. Give it a good recommendation. 10 out of 10, 8 out of 8, 6 out of 6, 12 out of 12. All that. It's great. I like it a lot. Gives you another game to play except Zelda Breath of the Wild, or yeah, when you need a break from that. If you like platformers, if you like retro video game stuff, or if you just like really great games, I would recommend it because it is all of those things. It will appeal to everyone, even if the difficulty level is totally approachable.